अरहंत सिद्ध सुर उपाध्याय साधु सर्व अर्थ के प्रकाशी मांगलिक उपकारी है। तीन को स्वरूप जानी रागते भई जो भक्ति काय को नमाए स्तुति को उच्चारी है। धन्य धन्य तुम्ही से काज सब आज भयो कर चोरी बारंबार वंदना हमारी है। मंगल कल्याण सुख ऐसो हम चाहते ओ मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। ओ मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। So we'll continue with last week's chapter, शास्त्रों के अर्थ करने की पद्धति, the method of understanding the meaning of religious text, or we can say method of interpretation of scriptures. Okay, so we had covered the Nai, Nischay Nai and Vyavhar Nai, and the other component in this chapter is the four exposition, out of which we had seen the Pratman Yog exposition. Now we will move on to the next one, exposition on Karnan Yog. Okay, exposition on technical matters. Page number 13. I'll make you a co-host, Urja. Can you share the textbook?
Sir, I've logged in from my phone.
Okay, who else can assist me in sharing the text?
Sir, I can share.
Okay, fine. I made you a co-host, okay? Yeah. So, to understand the scriptures, we have to understand the methodology, how these are interpreted. And in this context, we had discussed the Nai, Nischay Nai and Vyavhar Nai. And the second topic that is there is for exposition. Apart from there, I have thought of 16, 17 other topics which are related to this chapter, and that also we will discuss after we complete this chapter. Okay, so that also are very interesting, and if you don't understand this methodology, whatever you grasp from these scriptures, you will not able to make out the correct meaning. And if you can't make out the correct meaning, then also those principles you cannot apply in the right way in your day-to-day life. And the purpose was to understand the scriptures and make our life happy, and that will not be solved. Okay, so it is very important to understand this methodology. There are different perspectives from which the statements are made at different places, in different contexts, and in different scriptures. Now, you have to synchronize all this in your knowledge to arrive at the right decision. Okay. So if you are not able to understand it properly, if you are not able to synchronize it in your knowledge, then it will not serve your purpose of becoming happy. The basics are so easy. The life is so easy. But because of our inability to understand in the proper perspective, we are not able to derive the desired result. And people have been studying the scriptures for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, and still there is no changes in their practical life. Right? So that's something very challenging that I have come across. And because of that only, I am always constantly researching that how we can make this understanding very simple, so that each and everyone can grasp it, understand it, make a decision on it, and apply it in their life, and the life will always be very happy. So things are very simple, but because of our inability, we have made it complicated. Okay, but it is not complicated at all. So, can you share the text?
Yes, sir. Just a minute.
Yeah, yeah. I was just waiting for you only. Two hours a week and 5 years. That's all. And you will become a master. From whatever perspective the statements are being made, you will be able to comprehend in the right manner and you will become happy. You may not have the knowledge of MBA, CA, engineering, nothing. But if you understand the scriptures in the right manner, you will be the most happiest person on this earth. And that is the potential that we carry in understanding the scriptures. And I don't see any other important thing than this. And to get out, to break this circle of life and death, there is nothing else. Okay. So, page number 13, we will begin from the Karnan Yoga. What is the subject matter dealt with in Karnan Yoga? Okay. So, Madhuji, you read.
Yes, sir. Diwan Ratan Chand.
13, page number 13.
Yeah, yes, I got it, sir. Diwan Ratan Chand. What is the subject matter dealt with Karnan Yoga? Pandit Todarmal. Karnan Yoga explains things seen by the omniscient beings. Omniscience covers all the worlds and the non-world, but Karnan Yoga illustrates things useful for us. Beings who are in the lower stage of sentience, example, scales of spiritual growth, but manifestations of living beings are countless in number. They cannot be described in words. As such, similar modifications have been included in the different 14 scales of spiritual progress. In Karnan Yoga, things have been described from the point of view of educating persons in a particular direction, but it should not be treated exactly like that. Example, attempts of violence, etc., are called wrong consciousness, but in reality, all the consciousness of the person with wrong faith is bad consciousness, and that of the person with right faith is good consciousness.
Stop.
Divanda, yes, sir.
So, Karnan Yoga explains things seen by the omniscient beings. So, this cannot be implemented in our daily life activities. These are only to be understood from the perspective that this has been seen by our omniscient beings and that has been said in his divine sound, Divya Dhvani. Okay. So, Karana Yoga explains things seen by the omniscient beings. So, those are very subtle, like the whole karma theory. Karana Yoga consists of mainly three uh, divisions. First is the karma theory. The whole Karna Yoga is about karma theory. The second is about the different divisions and subdivisions of a living being. Okay. And the third is the cosmology, Teen Lok. Okay. So all these are part of Karnani Yoga. Whatever is being explained from this perspective all falls under the category of Karnani Yoga. Now, as you can see, that these are all related to omniscient beings' knowledge. Our Mati Shrut Gyan, sensory and scriptural knowledge that we have, cannot understand this, cannot comprehend this, cannot prove this, right? Just we have to accept it as it is written in the scriptures. Okay. So never try to put questions like किसने देखा है, who has seen this, who has seen Meru Parvat is this month, who has seen this teen lok, why there are 6 substances only, why there are 7 fundamentals only. These are some of the questions that the youngster generation they have there in this mind. And like today is the world of proving everything practically, so they consider it that we should also believe what is true. So to prove themselves, they ask this kind of questions. But if you understand this methodology that Karnanayugs explains things seen by the omniscient being. Now, what is seen by omniscient beings is not your, uh, uh, I would say, part of knowledge, right? You cannot comprehend it. So why unnecessary ask this question? Why you can't accept it? You do the examination on the purposeful elements, right? Which is directly related to your happiness and sorrow. So that you prove it. Seven fundamentals, you prove it. How seven fundamentals leads to right belief, that you prove it. There is no harm in that, because those are directly related your happiness and sorrow. But how much is the area of Sumeru Parvat? How big is that? These are the some of the questions that are irrelevant. These are not purposeful elements. Okay. So why bother about those things? You just examine, ponder over the purposeful elements. That is what is required to get you uh, inducted in the path of liberation. Okay. So that you, of course, uh, try to understand it by asking questions. But some of the things that are only seen by omniscient beings and that does not form a part of our sensory and scriptural knowledge, why bother in those, right? So you have to accept it. But this is very difficult to accept these things like that. Uh, Recently, I went to Vijayawada for Das Lakshan. There was a young fellow. He was asking me similar questions. Okay, why you are saying this is Kevli Gamya, Kevli Gamya? So I said, okay, these are some of the details that has come out of Divya Dhvani, and based on that, Gandhar understood it, and then Gandhar is of course a monk, and then he passed on to other acharyas, then other acharyas passed on to other acharyas, and when there were no acharyas to pick up those knowledge by mouth publicity, it was written up. And that the text that we are having, there the verses are there which mentions all this, and from that basis only we are getting the knowledge that we have right now today through scriptures. So this is the how it has passed on to us. Now, Kevli Gamya means those seen by omniscient beings. Now that is not possible to prove it, because you have to accept it. And there is no point also in proving it, because that does not that are not part of the purposeful elements. Purposeful elements are those which brings happiness in your life and which uh, wipes out your sorrow. Okay, sorrow and misery. So that is the purposeful element. So you just try to examine, try to research on the purposeful elements, and rest everything you have to believe as per omniscient beings. Now this was very challenging, and he was not able to accept that statement, particular statement initially. But as the days passed and he understood all the things logically, in the end he was able to uh, accept that, and and that was a very big achievement, I feel, as far as he is concerned, because if the doubt persists in your mind, you will not be able to understand the scriptures. Okay, so that doubt was cleared, and I hope that in the end he was able to understand those things. So omniscience covers all the worlds and the non-world. Okay, world, Lokakash and Alokakash. But Karnan Yoga illustrate things useful for us. So, Gunasthan, spiritual stages of development, and Marganasthan are all part of, you know, uh, the detailing about the living being. So Karnan Yoga illustrate things useful for us. There are many things that are coming into the knowledge of omniscient being, but they are not depicting everything. They are depicting those things only which can be a part of our knowledge and which are useful for us, because our life is limited. If we spend time on unuseful things, which are not directly related to our happiness and sorrow, then we will lose out on time. Okay. So the purposeful elements, the syllabus is very small. And if you are understand things in the right perspective, you will be smoothly riding on this path of liberation. Okay. So Karnan Yoga illustrates things useful for us, beings who are in the lower stage of sentience, that means spiritual stage of development. Okay, lower stage means lower stage of spiritual development, scales of spiritual growth. But manifestations of living beings are countless. Okay, there are different types of manifestations or sentiments that a jeev manifest every moment, and all cannot be accounted for. So manifestations of living beings are countless in number. They cannot be described in words. You understood? They cannot be described in words. As such, similar modifications have been included in the different 14 scales of spiritual progress. That means spiritual growth of 14 stages of spiritual development. Okay. So people who start with first stage, everyone is in the first stage. Then those who with their efforts are able to manifest right belief, they get into the fourth stage. And then with further practice of spiritual discrimination, science of discrimination, they progress to the fifth stage, then sixth, seventh. They, in the sixth, seventh, they become a monk. And then they go ahead, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. 12th is the time that they manifest complete passionlessness. Okay. Purna Vitrakta. And then in the 13th stage, they manifest omniscience knowledge, right? Sarvagna. And they now are able to see everything in one moment, past, present, and future modification of all the substances of the universe. Okay, that is the 13th stage. And then, of course, the 14th stage, and then they get liberated. Okay, so similar modifications have been, so they have made only 14 categories. In fact, in the first stage also itself, there is one living being who is going to manifest right belief in the next moment. And there is another living being who is also in the first stage, but he is going to take centuries to come out of that delusion. Okay, both are in the first stage, but there is a difference, right? So that that has all been included in the big, they have made big brackets, you know, first stage big bracket, then second stage, third stage, like that. So all the modification have been included in one particular that stage, but in between themselves there is a great polarization. Okay, so this is how Karnan Yoga depicts the different stages of spiritual development. And you have to comprehend in the right sense. Like if you are in the first stage, your sentiments will be like this only. If you are in the fourth stage, sentiments will be like this. Now, a person who is in a fourth stage crave for sentiments which are applicable to a monk, then it is not possible. So do what is possible, control the controllables, okay? Control the controllables and everything else will fall in place, right? In Karnan Yoga, things have been described from the point of view of educating persons in a particular direction, okay? But it should not be treated exactly like that. Example, attempts at violence, etc. 5 scenes, you know, hinsa, jhoot, chori, kushil, parigrah. So violence, non-truth, hinsa, jhoot, chori, theft, or violence, falsehood, theft, uh, unchastity, and possessions. These are the 5 scenes, okay? So, but it should not be treated exactly like that. Example, attempts at violence, etc. So violence, etc. is all the 5 scenes. are called wrong consciousness or false consciousness. But in reality, all the consciousness of the person with wrong faith is bad consciousness or false consciousness. Why? Can anyone answer why? Why all the consciousness of the person, all the knowledge of the persons with wrong faith is false consciousness? Why? Yeah, Roshni, you want to answer? I think you are able to make it. Just try. Soumya?
It's because that's mithyatva, and mithyatva itself doesn't allow us to go from first stage to second stage.
Right.
Because we're from
Delusion.
time memorial, we've been living in mithyatva, and until we get out of mithyatva, we won't progress.
So why the right knowledge of a wrong believer is a bad consciousness? Why it's a wrong knowledge? Even if there is a rope and the wrong believer says it is a rope, then still it is a wrong knowledge. And if a right believer sees snake as a rope, then still his knowledge is right knowledge. Why? That is my question. That is correct that he is under the influence of delusion. That is true. But why it is like that? Why his correct knowledge is also wrong knowledge? That is the question. Soumya, you can try. I think you know the answer. Yeah.
Yes, sir, because he has correct knowledge. A person with mithyatva or wrong knowledge has wrong knowledge of the prayojan bhut tattva or the beings
Yes. Purposeful elements. Very good.
purposeful elements.
Because he has not made the correct decision about the purposeful elements. That's why all other right knowledge of his is considered as wrong knowledge. And the right believer does not know anything about the world, but he has made the correct decisions on the purposeful elements. That's why his all knowledge is called right knowledge, right? So that is what they want to highlight here. So it is very important that you spend your time in getting the right information about the purposeful elements and just manifest right belief. And your happiness and the path of liberation begins. It's so simple. There are a lot of scriptures of all four exposition, and our time is very limited. Okay. So Todirmalji emphasized on this point very much in Moksha Marg Prakasak, third chapter, right? Mithya Gyan, Mithya Darshan, and all. So there he discussed this in very elaborate manner, and that will be covering up in the fourth sem. Okay. So but those who want to go into detail of that, they can study Moksha Marg Prakasak, third chapter. Okay. So this is
Sir,
huh.
when we say that even if the knowledge is right, but the understanding of the knowledge is wrong, is that called Koti Shraddha? Is that what that means?
Kumati Gyan, Kumati Gyan.
Kumati Gyan. Okay.
Yes, Kumati Gyan. That is the problem. Okay. So
Yeah.
all of us have the potential to manifest right belief right now. Although we don't have the capacity or ability to manifest complete detachment, vitrakta. Complete detachment cannot be possible now. You cannot get liberated in this birth, but at least you can start the path of liberation by just understanding the 7 purposeful elements. Okay. So that's why we did so much in detail about the 7 fundamentals, and we will keep on doing it. We will again read this in the next sem in the Chedala. Then again we will cover that in Dravya Sangra. Then again we will cover that in Moksha Marg Prakasak at 2 places. Okay. And so on. In Samaysar, in Tattvat Sutra, everywhere it is full of 7 fundamentals only. That is the only subject. Okay. And that's why I gave you concept clarity on that also. Right. So just revise those things, and those are very important. The well of knowledge is so big that people sometimes get lost in those scriptures, what is to be read and what is not to be read. There are a lot of information coming now because of the internet and everything and Google and all. But how do you spend your time? That depends on you. So you have to spend your limited time very judiciously to get the desired result. And that is some high level of talent that you need to have to be successful in that endeavor. Okay. So this is what we have in Karnanyog from the perspective of this understanding the scriptures. Everything is given in details in the 8th chapter of Moksha Marg Prakasak. The whole 4 exposition are given in detail, and that will be doing it in the 5th Sem. But till then, you have to wait. Otherwise, you can refer on a personal level. Okay. So now we move on to Charnan Yoga. What is the style of narration in Charnan Yoga? Himali.
Conduct.
Diwan Ratan Chandji, what is the style of narration in Charnanu Yoga? Pandit Todarwalji, Charnanu Yoga teaches conduct of religion as can be guided by the wit of persons. Conventional aspect is predominant here, but in real aspect of religion, there is nothing to be accepted and nothing to be abandoned. 2 ways of giving religious instructions have been adopted here. One only conventional and the other conventional with real. Outward activities are important in conventional teaching, but inner thoughts and feelings are more important in the real come conventional aspect. Diwan Ratan Chandji, for whom is conventional teaching alone given and for whom conventional mixed with the real? Pandit Todarwalji, only conventional teaching is meant for those who have no knowledge of the real perspective, and in whose case it appears that even attempts to inculcate the real aspect will fail. Those who have the knowledge of both the real and the conventional aspects, or in whose case it might be taught usefully, are taught using conventional aspect mixed with the real one. In Charnanu Yoga, sometimes new passions are aroused in order to persuade persons to stop their sinful activities. Example, by creating fear passion with the hellish phase of life as a result of evil, and by creating greed passions with heavenly phase of life to lead people to follow the path of religion. Likewise, hatred with the human flame is created by describing it as very impure, and sense of aversion with sons and daughters is generated by showing them as extremely eager to get the accumulated wealth of parents. Greed of having wealth and issues by indulging in worship, charity, or adoration is generated to induce people to become religious minded. The real purpose of such expositions in Charnanu Yoga should be kept in mind to have real faith.
Stop. So this is all about Charnan Yoga, and Charnan Yoga basically caters to the outer behavior of a householder and a monk. Okay, so that is the main subject of Charnan Yoga, that at what stage what should be your external life, that is being reflected through your mind, speech, and bodily activities. Okay, so you have a question, Roshni? I'll take that first.
Yes, actually 2 questions. So first of all, you say you're right that there is a lot of literature available. How do we make the decision that this is real Jinwani and this is something that we should avoid reading?
So in Jinwani also, I was talking about Jinwani also. I'm not talking about the other philosophies and everything else of the outer world, but I was talking about Jinwani. In Jinwani also, there are a lot of things to be studied, but there are some very few things that are really, really purposeful for our happiness, and that is the 7 fundamentals. Everywhere you will see this is the only question, that how do we manifest right belief? And the answer will always be that you understand the 7 fundamentals correctly, you will have right belief. Now, these 7 fundamentals, the whole Samaisar is devoted to 7 fundamentals. The whole Tattvad Sutra is devoted to 7 fundamentals. And all other scriptures are devoted to right belief, right knowledge, and right conduct, which is the path of liberation. Right. But now there is so many scriptures on each exposition. Now the big challenge is that how do you comprehend, how do you decide that which are important for my happiness, and that is something that you have to customize yourself. Nobody can tell you what is good for Roshni or what is good for Himali, because each have different kinds of character, different kinds of traits, different kinds of ability, different kinds of effort. So you have to make out where you are interested, and whatever you read in Jinwani, one purpose you should always have, that at the end of that reading you should have conclusion, that I read today 1 hour this scripture. Now what is the conclusion? What is the takeaways that I take with myself? And you have to write it somewhere, so that you can again go back and revise, and uh, your vision and purpose of life should not be uh, ignored at any stage. Whatever we do, with only one purpose. Srimad Rajchandra ji in Atma Siddhi, in one of the verse, has said, "Jya jya je," 1 minute. हाँ, ज्या ज्या जे जे योग्य ते त्या समझू ते, है ना? So this is the quality of an Atmarthi, that what is being said from which perspective. You have to understand that perspective and take it in the right sense. And that is what we are studying now in this chapter, that in Jinwani there are a lot of things, a lot of informations. Now, from which perspective it is being said and for whom it is being said. These are the challenges, and uh, there are a lot of variations in between. Okay. So it's a really difficult thing to ascertain, but as you read Jinwani, you will develop that habit, because our acharyas have taken us on this journey. In each scripture, they have a purpose to define, and to elaborate on that purpose, they have put in these chapters, different chapters. Now, even if you consider this Vitrag Vigyan 1, 2, 3, or for that matter, Balbodh 1, 2, 3, and Tattvagyan 1, 2, there are few chapters taken from here and there from different scriptures. And based on that, they have made a syllabus like this, from the beginning to the end. So all this they have tried, and they are pretty successful also. But the thing is that at the end of the day, now we have also gone through Vitrag Vigyan 1, 2, 3 and all. But how many of us revise those? Ho gaya, 1 semester over, now leave those books. It's not like that. Whatever had appealed you, whatever you liked it, you have to keep on repeating. So every time you repeat, you understand something new from that same words, same chapter, but you read it again and again, and it creates a magic in you. Initially you understood so much only. The next time when you read, you understand better. So you have to keep on repeating and arrive at the purposeful elements. So this is something that we have to practice on a personal basis, right? And what was the second question?
Oh, it was around Jnana Yoga. So are there different sections, one for Shravak and one for Muni?
Yeah.
Okay.
So depends. Now these are all stages, So if you are at a stage of 4th, your sentiments would be according to that. If you are in the 5th stage, the sentiments will be like that. So a person who is in the 5th stage, he will have sentiments like he wants to get into wars, But in a 4th stage, he will not have sentiments of having wars, So this outer behavior is in accordance with the level of passionlessness that you have developed. Okay. So in the 4th stage, you have got rid of the Anantanubandhi Kashai. Okay. Intense passion. Okay. The fifth stage, you have got rid of apratyakhana kashai. So as you progress in this path of liberation, so your sentiments will keep on changing. When you become a monk, you will not have any sinful activity in your life, right? So these are the gradual development that is happening in you by understanding the scriptures. And accordingly, you have to take vows, or your external behavior should be according to that. Very simple. It happens automatically. It is not that we have in our mind tension that how I'll become a monk, how I will go to the jungle, and if there are wild animals there, and what I will do. No fear. The moment you go ahead in the path of liberation, the next roads or the next gate automatically opens up. It's a gradual transformation that is you are going through. So the next transformation will automatically come. It is not that in our mind that how I will become monk, how I will go alone in the jungle. These are some of the questions that we perceive from our perspective. But when you walk on the path of liberation, things happen automatically. It's so simple and it's so happy, and there is no stress at all at any point of time in the path of liberation. Okay. All the stresses are because of ignorance. I'll give you an example in this class only. So supposing we are 10 students, right? Each has got different kinds of character. Somebody becomes very nervous at the start of some minor problems, and somebody are capable of even taking up big problems. So this is what we have developed over years. It's not on 1 day or 2 days action that we have done. It is the mentality, the mindset that we have developed over a period of time. Okay. So these are all gradual development, and similarly in the path of liberation also, you will also develop your mindset, your mental capacity, and it is very normal that you will get problem, or to that extent only, that which you are capable to solve. You will never have a question in your exam that you will not be able to solve. So it is a very natural phenomena that happens when you walk in the path of liberation. We have challenges, but those challenges are not that you will break and leave the path of liberation. It will challenge you anyways, but you will be able to solve it by just thinking out of the box. So we have to develop that mentality to think out of the box. So that's why I keep on asking question in between if I find anything challenging. So as I asked you just now, so now you know that why all the knowledge of a wrong believer is wrong knowledge, and why all the knowledge of a right believer is right knowledge. Because they know the purposeful elements correctly. That is the only answer. So Charnan Yoga have this methodology to depict the outer behavior, what should be your outer behavior depending on the stages of spiritual development that you are in. Okay. So Charnan Yoga teaches conduct of religion as can be guided by the wit of persons. Conventional aspect is predominant here. So there are two aspects, in Charnan Yoga. One is the conventional aspect and other is the real aspect. So those living beings who are able to grasp conventional as well as real, they are given instructions in that manner, that conventionally you have to do this and really you have to do this. But those who are not able to comprehend the real aspects, they are only given instruction according to outer behavior, external activities, and so depends on the level of the living being. He has been given instructions by acharyas. Now a person having a fever from cold, okay, he goes to a doctor and doctor gives him some medicines. Now another person is also having a fever, but his fever is from heat exposure, right? So the one who is having a fever due to cold exposure will be given medicines which are hot, and the one who has got a fever from heat exposure, he will be recommended medicines which are cold in nature. So both are having a fear, but medicines for both are different. So it depends from what perspective you are talking. And similarly, the acharyas also advise in that manner. So in Charnan Yoga, sometimes new passions are aroused in order to persuade person to stop their sinful activities. Okay. So from intense passion, the acharya's idea is to bring to you mild passion. That is the idea. So by creating new passions, okay, by making yourself indulge in new small passions or mild passions, the acharyas will persuade to stop the bigger passions or the sinful activities. Okay. Example, by creating fear passion with the hellish phase of life as a result of evil. So Acharya will say, you don't indulge in these activities, you will end up in hell. So now, on one side, he is advising him to stop that activity because that will lead to hellish life. Okay. On the other hand, he is creating a fear. So both are passions. That sinful activity is also passion, and this fear is also a passion. But the intensity differs. That is, the first one is the intense passion, and creating a fear to get you into the right path. Okay, that is also a passion, but it is a mild passion. So these are some of the instructions that acharyas give to a person depending on the stage in which he is in. Okay. And by creating great passion with heavenly phase of life to lead people to follow the path of religion. So again, he has created great passion that you do good activities, you abstain from sinful activities, you will get life in heaven. Okay. So he has created a greed, but again, by still creating great passion, he is trying to reduce your level of passions. Okay. Likewise, hatred with the human frame is created by describing it as very impure. Our body is very impure, right? It is full of urine and stool and all that, right? But that has been created just because he wants you to reduce your attachment to body. Okay, the purpose is to reduce your attachment to body. People spend so much time in doing makeups and all and this, and uh, acharyas want you to spend your time, spare time in developing your spiritual understanding, right? So he will say such things. And sense of aversions with sons and daughters is generated by showing them as extremely eager to get the accumulated wealth of the parents. In Niyam Sarji, the family has been considered as a in Niyam Sar, Acharya Kunkundev has considered our family uh, as our enemy because they take our time. A person spends so much time to earn money to maintain his family, and he has no time for swadhyay. So all the relations that we have developed in this human life are such that everyone are selfish. The moment their purpose will not be solved, they will turn against you. Even if it is your son, if it is your daughter, if it's your husband, whatever. So this is the reality of life. But because of our attachment, we are so much uh, infatuated by those relationships that we even forget our purpose in life. So we have to create a balance everywhere. It is not that we have to discard our family members, but at the same time, you have to create a balance that your own purpose is also in your mind, and the kind of attachments that you have, that also are being taken care of. So this is something the Charnan Yoga advises in such a manner. Greed of having wealth and issues by indulging in worship, charity or adoration is generated to induce people to become religious minded. Okay. So greed of having wealth and all, it's again a passion, but the purpose is to take you towards, to make you religious minded, to take you toward passionlessness. Okay. All the four exposition, the conclusion is that all the four exposition takes us to non-attachment. Okay. So from whichever angle the talks are there, the statements are being made, the purpose is same. You take you towards the non-attachment, take you towards vitragta. Okay. The real purpose of such exposition in Charnan Yoga should be kept in mind to have right faith. So different exposition having different methodology of expressing their thoughts, but the end purpose is to develop passionlessness. Okay. Now, Dravyan Yoga says that the soul does not eat, and Charnan Yoga says that don't eat abaksh, eat only the right kind of foods. Now, both are contradictory because one says that soul does not eat only, right? Atma anari hai. And the other says you eat the right food, right? Don't eat the uneatables, right? So both are contradictory, but both have a perspective. So you have to understand the methodology of Charnan Yoga to comprehend that truth, and you have to understand the methodology of Dravyan Yoga to understand why it is being said that the soul does not eat. Okay. So these are some of the conflicts that creates in our mind when we read different scriptures from different exposition. Okay. But the end result is to take you towards not right faith, but take you towards developing passionlessness. Okay. Make you religious minded. So that was all about Charnan Yoga. Do you have any questions? Otherwise, I will move on to Dravyan Yoga, the last one. Exposition on substances or metaphysics. Charnan Yoga is exposition on conduct or ethics. Okay, so we'll move on to the next one. And Roshni ji, you only read.
Huh. Divan Ratanjan, what is the method of narration in Dravyanu Yoga? Pandit Todarmal. The purpose in Dravyanu Yoga is to develop right faith by examples, reasons, and various interpretations. Influx and other elements are described in a manner that would lead to feelings of detachment, discrimination between the self and non-self, and the living and the non-living entities. Spiritual experience is hailed and conventionalities are discarded. Importance of rules of conduct, etc., is sometimes minimized to create indifference towards these in the minds of those who are very much prone towards those in order to encourage the emergence of spiritual experience. Merits are decried not for pursuing demerits, but for pursuing detachments. Thus, the methods of exposition in the four Anuyogas are different, but the chief purpose for all of these is the propagation of
Detachment.
is the propagation of detachment. Sometimes soft attachments are recommended in order to do away with stronger ones. At others, all attachments have been decried, but nowhere attachments have been proclaimed as merits. Real perfect faith is in eliminating attachments as far as possible. Real consciousness is to know how these can be eliminated, and the real conduct is to follow the path of the elimination of attachments. We should therefore understand the real intention of religious truths by following the styles of all the four Anuyogas. Divan Ratanjan. What to do if sometimes mutually opposed tenets have been placed before us in the religious texts? Pandit Todarmal. The messages of Jinendra Deo does not have mutually contradictory commandments or assertions. We feel that the contradictions are there because we have not understood the style of the Anuyogs and the real and conventional aspects of religious teachings. There is no contradiction if we comprehend these methods of understanding the religious texts. It is therefore necessary that we should keep studying the scriptures, which is the first and foremost preparation for the pursuit of the path of liberation. You are therefore ordained to study religious texts with proper understanding. You will surely obtain perfect bliss.
Good. So you see the main components of Dravyanyog or the exposition on substances is the 7 fundamentals, the 6 substances, and the how to practice discriminative knowledge. Okay, so that are the main part of Dravyanyog. So whatever the knowledge we acquire, our objective is to how to practice discriminative knowledge. Okay, the purpose of Dravyanyog is to develop right faith by examples, logics, causes, reasons, and various interpretations. Okay, influx and other elements. Now, what are these other elements, Roshni ji?
The
Influx,
6 elements?
influx and other
yes.
elements. Yeah.
Yes. I can say them in Hindi.
Ah.
Jeev, Ajeev, Jeev, Ajeev, Asrav, Samvar, Bandh, Asrav, Bandh, Samvar, Nijara, Moksha.
Correct, correct. So whenever it says other elements, you have to take all these 5, okay? So influx, bondage, stoppage of influx, dissociation of bondage, and liberation. These are the influx and other elements are described in a manner that would lead to feeling of detachment. Now this is very important. So these fundamentals we are understanding that leads to feeling of detachment. Okay. Discrimination between the self and the non-self, Ved Vigyan, okay? Swa or Par, and the living and the non-living entities, Jeev, Ajeev, okay? Spiritual experience is held and conventionalities are discarded, okay? Spiritual experience is held and conventionalities, Vyavhar, are discarded. Importance of rules of conduct, etc., is sometimes minimized or ignored to create indifference towards these in the minds of those who are very much drawn towards those. Now, see, this is applicable to those who are very much drawn towards those external activities. For them, the importance of rules of conduct, etc., is sometimes minimized, right? Those who are indulging in vrat, tap, kriya, the Acharya will say that try to understand, try to practice Bhed Vigyan, do meditations. All this kind of instruction would be given. Only following outer activities, rituals will not serve your purpose. So at different times, some expositions are given less importance or are ignored. Okay. So these are the different styles of depiction of each exposition. Now, if you don't understand the style, then always doubt will persist in your mind that this यहाँ तो ये लिखा था, यहाँ तो ये बता रहे, like so these things will not be able you to take the right decision. So it is very important that you know the styles of each exposition and consider those statements from that perspective only. Then you can arrive at the right decision. So importance of rules of conduct is sometimes minimized to create an indifference towards these in the minds of those who are very much drawn towards those in order to encourage the emergence of spiritual experience. Okay. Merits are decried not for pursuing demerit, but for pursuing detachment. So the end purpose would always be to get into detachment, but you cannot directly go to detachment from demerits. So in between the merits will come, okay? And from merit you go to complete detachment, okay? So this is the methodology. Now the conclusion. Thus, the method of exposition in the 4 anuyogs, 4 exposition are different. But the chief purpose of all these is the propagation of detachment. वितरागता का पोषण. चारों अनुयोग का तात्पर्य वितरागता. No matter whatever you adapt, which exposition you like, you adapt. But the result should be, you should move towards detachment. Okay. Sometimes some soft attachments are recommended in order to do away with strong ones. Soft attachments are recommended to do away with stronger ones. At others, all detachments have been decried, but nowhere attachments have been proclaimed as merit. राग का पोषण कहीं नहीं किया है. हर जगह तीव्र राग से छुड़ाकर मंद राग पे लाया गया है, लेकिन राग का पोषण कहीं नहीं किया गया. Real perfect faith is in eliminating as much attachment as far as possible. Okay. Real consciousness is to know how these can be eliminated, and the real conduct is to follow the path of the elimination of attachment. So perfect faith, then perfect knowledge, and the perfect conduct. All three deals with eliminating attachment, okay, and how it can be eliminated, and the real conduct, that is to follow the path of the elimination of attachments. Okay. We should therefore understand the real intention of religious truth by following the styles of all the 4 anuyogs or expositions. Okay. So this is very, very important. If you apply Charnan Yoga against Dravyan Yoga, then you will not be able to comprehend the right message. Okay. So each Anuyog, each exposition is written from a different perspective, and you have to understand that perspective. Okay. And then you will be able to comprehend the right meaning. Last paragraph. What to do if sometimes mutually opposite tenets or principle have been placed before us in the religious texts? Just now I gave you an example that Dravyan Yoga says that soul does not eat anything, and Charnan Yoga says that eat the right things, right foods. Now, how do you comprehend this? The message of Jinendra Dev does not have mutually contradictory commandments or assertion. It does not have. We feel that the contradictions are there because we have not understood the style of the Anuyogs. Not understanding the style creates a confusion in our side, right? So you must understand the style of each Anuyogs and the real and the conventional aspects of religious teaching. So these 2 things are covered in this chapter, the style of Anuyogs and the real and conventional aspects of religious teaching. There is no contradiction if we comprehend these methods of understanding the religious texts. It is therefore necessary that we should keep studying the scriptures, which is the first and foremost preparation for the pursuit of the path of liberation. You are therefore ordained to study religious texts with proper understanding. You will surely obtain perfect bliss. Okay. So I think now you have got a general idea that what the authors wants to convey here in this chapter, that you have to understand the methodology. Now, if you ask me, I would, if any new person comes that I want to understand religion, I will teach him this chapter only first. Because unless and until you don't know the perspective from where the things are being said, you will not be able to comprehend in the right manner. And if you are not able to comprehend, then the doubts will persist, confusion will persist, and you will not be able to manifest right belief. Okay. So these 2 were very important, and that's why it's covered. But then there are other 17 points that I'm going to discuss now. You can note down and otherwise you can again see the recording, the last part. Okay. Now it's already 1 hour. Yeah. Okay. So 1 hour is over. So after 1 hour, you have to listen again to write these 17 points. The first of the 17 points is that the style of expressing statements in Jinwani is Anekant Syadvad. What is this Anekant and what is this Thyadvad? Anekant is multifaceted reality. Okay, a multifaceted view of reality. This is Anekant. Anek plus Ant, that is Anekant. Anek means two or more, and Ant means attributes, okay, or dharma, gun or dharma, okay. So when we take two as the meaning of Anek, the meaning of Ant would be dharma, okay. Two opposite in nature, religion, okay, विरुद्ध प्रतीत होने वाले, they are not opposite, but it seems that they are opposite, like ek, anek, tat, atat, nitya, anitya, okay. These two are part of that reality, the soul, okay, but each is having a different perspective. So you have to understand that perspective. Now, I said nitya and anitya. Nitya means that which exists eternally, and anitya means momentary, okay. So now, how the soul is nitya and how is anitya? The soul is nitya from the substance point of view, and soul is anitya from the modification point of view. Now this much explanation will clear all your doubts, okay. So when anek is two, the ant is dharma. दो परस्पर विरुद्ध प्रतीत होने वाले धर्मों का एक साथ रहना, ठीक है, उसको कहते हैं अनेकांत. Now the second meaning of anekant. Anek means many, okay, or more than two is many, and ant is gun. So that particular soul contains infinite attributes or qualities. अनेक गुण, ना, बहुत गुण. So that multifaceted reality consists of infinite attributes or quality or dharma or shakti or swabhav. These are all synonymous from the gross point of view. But if you look at it from the subtle point of view, then there will be some differences. Like, so I said four things: gun, attributes or quality; dharma, dharma is religion; gun, dharma; shakti, shakti again is a attribute only, okay, and swabhav, swabhav is the nature. All these four are used synonymously, okay, and from the gross point of view. But when you look at it from the subtle point of view, there are minor differences. Like, there is a modification for each attribute, okay. गुण की पर्याय होती है, but धर्म की पर्याय नहीं होती है, okay. Dharma are always opposites. It's always in the pair. Tat, atat, ek, anek, nitya, anitya, sat, asat, like that. Okay. So they are always in pairs. The religion is always in pair. The religion here means dharma. Okay. So they are always in pairs, but they don't have modifications. Then the third one is Shakti, like Sarvagnatva Shakti, Sarvadarshitva Shakti. Now these are again a kind of attributes only. Shakti, potential, and it gets complete manifestation in the 13th stage. So there is no portion right now present of Sarvagnatva Shakti, okay, but that Shakti will manifest in totality in the 13th stage of spiritual development. शक्ति की व्यक्ति होती है, शक्ति की भी पर्याय नहीं होती है, ठीक है. So this is Shakti. The fourth one is Swabhav, nature. Swabhav is that which cannot be wiped out any point of time. स्वभाव का कभी अभाव नहीं होता है. Okay, so this is the nature. Now, त्याग उपादान शून्यत्व शक्ति. Okay, so त्याग उपादान स्वभाव है. कर्ता, कर्म, करण, संप्रदान, अपादान, अधिकरण. These are all स्वभाव, nature. Okay, so nature are those things which always remain with the soul, with the substance. It never goes out of substances. It is never devoid in substance. Okay, so these are swabhav. So these are the four that you have to understand. Anekant's meaning you have understood. Syadvad. Syadvad means depiction of reality using point of view. Syad किसी अपेक्षा से, वाद means कहना, किसी अपेक्षा से कहना. So in our Jinwani, everything is being said from a particular point of view. Now you have to understand that point of view to understand the correct meaning. Okay. So this was the first principle, Anekant and Syadvad. Second is Nai and Praman. Nai means point of view and Praman means comprehensive knowledge. Okay. So our whole Jinwani is being expressed either in a Nai or Praman. Praman means the big picture, the total picture, comprehensive knowledge is Praman. And Nai is a point of view. So Nai is a part of Praman. Nai is a small part of Praman. And Praman is Samyak Gyan. Samyak Gyan, right knowledge is Praman. Okay. Now this Nai or point of view are of several types. The first is the real and conventional point of view that we discussed in this chapter. The second is Dravyarthik Nai and Paryarthik Nai. Substantive point of view and model point of view. Dravyarthik Nai, Paryarthik Nai, substantive and model point of view. So this is second one. Okay. Now, what is Dravyarthik Nai? The one that focuses on the substance. And Paryarthik Nai is the one that focuses on the modification. Okay. This is the major understanding. The third in the Nai category is 7 Nai, which is expressed in Tattvat Sutra first chapter, verse number 31. Okay. Negam Nai, Sangra Nai, Vyavahar Nai, Ruju Sutra Nai, Shabda Nai, Sambirud Nai, and Evangbhut Nai. So if you search Tattvat Sutra in English, you will get all the English names also. And I will also try to share the English names. But I don't remember it right now. But I have read it. Okay. So 7 Nai. Now the next is Saptabhangi. Sevenfold predication. These are also part of Nai. Okay. Sevenfold predication, Saptabhangi. Then the next is, this you will learn in 6th semester. So I'm not touching it right now. And it is not also easy to understand, but we'll do it in detail. The fifth one among the Nai is the 3 Nais. Shabda Nai, Artha Nai, and Gyan Nai. Okay. Then the sixth one is 47 Nai. This 47 Nai is enumerated in Pravachan Sarji at the end by Acharya Amrit Chandra Dev. Okay. In Pravachan Sarji Granth has depicted this 47 Nai, and each Nai represents one dharma. Okay. So there are 47 dharma that has been explained in each of these 47 Nai. Okay. So that is the sixth one. So we have covered two categories. First one was Anekant Syadvad. Second was Nai. And under Nai, we have discussed 6 things. Now moving on to the third major point. Sermon that give advice and versus sermon that state facts. So one is Updesh Bodh and other is Tattva Bodh. Updesh Bodh is for your motivation. It motivates you. But Tattva Bodh cools you down. because sorry, Tattva Bodh, yeah. The Tattva Bodh is the sermons that state facts. Okay, it states fact. So Updesh Bodh will give advice to motivate you, but Tattva Bodh will cool you down and will help you to understand the facts. So until and unless you understand the facts, you will not be able to understand the true meaning of the scriptures. Okay. The next in line, the fourth, sermons, yeah, fourth in the line, Samanya Kathan, Vishesh Kathan, general statements and specific statements. Now this again will create a difference in understanding. Okay. So you have to realize which is a general statement and which is a specific statement. Okay. General statements are applicable to all the 6 substances, but specific statements will be about a particular substance. Okay. So there are many variations in this general statement and specific statement. So you have to realize what is being said generally and what is being said specifically to understand the true meaning. The fifth one, Mukhya Kathan, Gaun Kathan. Mukhya Kathan is a primary statement and Gaun Kathan is a secondary statement. Okay. So you have to realize what is Mukhya and what is Gaun. Okay. Gaun means not above. Gaun means it is being now ignored. Okay. It is a secondary. The primary is the Mukhya one. So you have to understand the statements are being said from which perspective. Either it is from the primary point of view or the secondary point of view. Sixth in the line, Bhed Abhed Vivaksha, depiction through distinctions and as a whole. So some things are being said as a whole and some things are depicted through distinctions. Okay. Now, telling soul as a soul is Abhed Vivaksha, but telling that soul consists of substance, attributes and modification is a Bhed Kathan. Okay. Depiction through distinctions. So Abhed Vastu is described by putting distinctions in them. Okay, that is how we understand the Abhed Vastu. The seventh in the line is Agam and Adhyatam. Some statements are from universal science and some are from spiritual experience. So our objective should be to arrive at a spiritual experience or spiritual science from the universal science. Okay. Agam deals with all the 6 substances, but Adhyatam deals with only the soul. Okay. So we have to derive Adhyatam from the Agam. The 8th in the line is Drashti Pradhan Kathan and Gyan Pradhan Kathan. Drashti Pradhan means prominence of belief and Gyan Pradhan means prominence of knowledge. Okay. So when a statement is being made from the prominence of belief, it will say that the soul does not contain attachments at all. Soul does not contain any impurities. Okay. The number 8th Nay, Param Shuddh Nischay Nay. Supreme point of view. Okay. Supreme real point of view. Right. So that is the Drashti Pradhan Kathan. Okay. And what is Gyan Pradhan? Prominence of knowledge. Okay. So from that perspective, from when we discuss prominence of knowledge, from that perspective, we also consider attachment as a part of soul. But when we talk from the prominence of belief point of view, then only then we discard detachment also, we discard modifications also. Okay, and we discard distinction of attributes also. Okay, that is how we arrive at number 8, supreme real point of view. Now 9th, vastu siddhi versus prayojan siddhi. Okay, learning the principles versus truly applying them. Very important. We only learn the principles, but we don't learn how to truly apply them in our life. Okay. So unless and until you are able to apply in your life, the purpose of learning does not serve, So our whole Jinvani is dedicated to that purpose. Okay. And if we are not able to apply the principles that we learn, then all efforts are worthless, futile. Okay. 10th, Swadhyay, method of reading the scriptures. So there are broadly 2 methods. Okay. One is Shabdarth, Matarth, Nayarth, Agamarth, and Bhavarth. These are the 5 components of Swadhyay. Okay. So Shabdarth, Matarth, Nayarth, Agamarth, and Bhavarth. So you have to reach up to the Bhavarth to complete the picture of Swadhyay. Another,
Can you repeat, sir?
yeah,
Shabdarth, Matar.
Shabdarth, Matarth. Matarth means from which philosophy it is being said, whether it is a Vedant philosophy or Bodh philosophy or Jain philosophy, that is the Matarth. And the first one was Shabdarth. Shabdarth is understanding the understanding the words of the verse. Okay. The third one is Nayarth, from which point of view the statement is being made. That will also create a difference. Okay. The fourth one is Shabdarth, Matarth, Nayarth, Agamarth, from which Agam, universal science, it is being said. Okay. And the last one is Bhavarth. Bhavarth is the essence of the meaning. Okay. So what the conclusion? Bhavarth is the conclusion. So you have to understand from 5 perspectives. Then there are another 5 aspects of Swadhyay. Vachna, reading. Puchna, asking. The third is Anupreksha. Anupreksha means reflections. Okay. Bara Bhavna, it's 12 reflections. So that is Anupreksha, where you are indulging yourself in the thought process, thinking. Okay. Then Vakchana, Puchna, Anupreksha, Amnaye. Amnaye is remembering those things, repeatedly reading it and remembering the words, putting those things in memory. That is the Amnaye. And the last is Dharma Updesh. After you have gone through these 4 stages, then comes the 5th stage, Dharma Updesh, giving advice to others. Okay. So these are the Swadhyay. So you have to understand these 5 components of Swadhyay to arrive at the right meaning. Okay. Otherwise, if you just only read and don't ask, if you read and ask and don't ponder over it, if you ask and think about it but don't remember it, then also it is a problem. And if everything you do it, but if you don't advise others, then also your Swadhyay is not complete. So any of the 5 components is Swadhyay.
Sir, excuse me, sir. I don't know if I've missed it. What is the topic of all these? What are we discussing at the moment? 12 आपने भेद ये बता रहे हैं. What is it?
So these are the different ways of understanding the methodology of scriptures. So we discussed 2 in the chapter, 9 and the 4 exposition, right? But apart from these, if you don't understand these all perspectives, then also you will not able to comprehend the true meaning of
these seem to be very, very important. But we have kind of rushed through it.
But like, see, this is not a part of chapter, right? So I'm just giving you the names. You repeat the
This
recording.
is the
and
basic, sir. ये
you,
काम आते हैं, बार-बार यही काम आते हैं, हर जगह
हाँ
पढ़ने
यही काम आते हैं, but like I am bound by syllabus, you know. But
True.
still, from my
Yes, sir.
personal side, I always now if you have you want to understand all these 17 in details, okay, I can take extra classes, but that will be not a part of Parmagam honors. Okay, I
So
will
let's
help you.
have it, sir. Yes.
Yeah,
So
I will have it, but
yeah,
you have the time. It is very
yeah,
difficult for you to
actually we
complete
have to take
assignments.
out time.
You
Yeah, that's
nobody
true.
like majority of you are not able to complete
Extremely
the
important.
assignments on
Yeah.
time, right?
Yes.
So I believe that you don't have time, so I don't go in very much detail. But still,
But
I am just giving you the words. Those who have the uh, interest to understand in detail, I will definitely take it up. I don't mind. Okay. So you just
yes.
write down the points now. Okay.
Mm.
I will give you some of the references where you will get the details so that you can straightway understand this. Some of this will be covered in other semesters, 6th semester, 7th
Oh,
semester. Some of these will be covered, and some
yeah.
of these I will give you the references of the books. You can just read yourself and understand these principles. Okay. But I'm just like when you think on those lines, that what is the reason that the um, understanding the religion is so simple, but still it is being made complicated. And why it is complicated? Because you don't understand the style from where it is being written. You don't
Yes.
understand the perspective from which being it is written. And that is why you are not able to comprehend. Not only you, even I know people who have been studying since 30-35 years, and still they are not able to apply those understanding into their day-to-day life. They are still doing wrong things. They are not mending their bad habits, you know. So that is the tragedy that I encountered when I analyzed these things, that why people, the religion is so simple, but why people are not able to understand this. They are practicing same politics, same favoritism, nepotism, these, that, all the wrong words you use, you can use it here. So the thing is that they are not able to understand the scriptures in the right perspective. You have to get into the minds of the acharyas to understand the real perspective of saying something. Todarmalji did that. Todarmalji entered the mind of the acharyas and he saw things from their perspective. And that's why he is considered to be Acharya Kalp. He is not Acharya, he was a simple householder, but he is given a title of Acharya Kalp because his thinking was like Acharya's. If you read Moksha Marg Prakashak, you will understand that at what level he was there. Although he was a householder, he had 2 sons, but still he was able to comprehend this because he went into the minds of the Acharya and he saw things from that perspective. And that's what we have to do. And I also do that way. That's why I've been able to give you 17 extra points on this chapter, because uh, who is not on mute? Okay. So you have to understand these perspectives to comprehend the real meaning of the text. That is what we are discussing. Got Maltiji?
Yeah, it's a little clear, but ये यही चीजें सर समझने थी, तो I think I'll read and then I'll come back to you with doubts.
Yeah. I'll give you the details where you can read from.
ये जो
Okay.
अमेरिकन बात
And the one that I cannot give you the details, I will explain you
Yeah.
personally. Okay. But
Yes, sir.
you show me interest and how much time you can spend, and
Yes, sir.
not withholding the assignments. You know, today there is a deadline for assignment. How many of you have completed? Let me ask. How many of you have completed? Raise your hand. Or yeah.
I have completed, sir.
Okay, so you enter your name. I will just put a message on the group that whoever
Yes.
completed, you write your names. Okay. And who else?
Yeah.
Apart from Maltiji, who else?
Sir, CC to
I
assignment.
completed,
I'm
sir.
going. I'll complete it today, sir.
Okay. Yeah, Soumya, what you are saying?
Sir, CC2 assignment on Panch Bhav I will complete today. But
Okay.
CC1 assignment on this was about Das Lakshan Dharm that was given on a later date. So
Ah,
the date.
that is still
Yeah,
that is I think 11th of
yeah.
October.
Okay. So
That
today
is
we
11th
will.
of October. Then today I have given you CC on Das Lakshan Dharma, wherein you have to uh, discuss the first chapter, the introductory chapter, first chapter, and the last chapter, Shama Vani. Only these two topics you have to cover. Okay, 1 page to 6 page you have to write. Then you have to put a myth buster at the end of the concept clarity, half page, and that is your concept clarity paper 1. Okay, concept
So
CC
that
1.
was GM, Gandhar Mulyankan.
Gandhar Mulyankan is the different subjects that I have given you, different topics for each. Right?
So for
That is,
example, Gandhar Mulyankan, I was given first Uttam Shama Dharm and
okay,
Soumya was given Shama Vani. And
okay.
in Das Lakshan, in CC1, we have to cover only one dharma or we have to complete all 10 dharma?
In CC1, you have to cover only the introductory chapter, chapter 1,
Okay.
how the Das Lakshan Dharma emerged, that I discussed it in the first day itself. Okay. And the last chapter, Shamavani. These two only you have to cover in concept clarity paper 1. Because Das Lakshan is paper 1, Tattvagyan 1 is paper 2, where you have to do 5 distinctive disposition. And that is the last day today, right? Okay, so you have to complete that. So I am scared because you are not able to complete assignments on time. That means you are very busy, and that busyness may be in your profession, your family life. You have so much responsibilities. I understand everything. It is not that I don't understand. So I am also very soft on homeworks, you know. And but if you understand some of these principles, and if you are able to put it in your day-to-day life, I think you will be happy. And that is what our purpose is, to understand this course, right? You have to enter, you have entered this course to be happy and not to get only pure knowledge without applying it. Our our website is practical Jainism. So we understand everything practically, how we can apply in our day-to-day life. And from that perspective only, I am teaching you. I never teach for the purpose of exam. I never give you important questions. I never revise, topics, because I know the focus is, the emphasis is on understanding and not on the knowledge. How much you remember is immaterial, but how much you are able to apply, how much purity you are able to manifest in your life, that is more important for me. Okay, so good that you have asked question. Malteji, you should always ask question wherever you feel that something is going on the wrong side, So it will be cleared in that
So
moment.
the new assignment you've said today, if you can put it in a message also.
What?
The new assignment that you've given
Yeah,
today.
I already put in. I've already put in. Each and every assignment is put in the group. If you refer the past messages, you will able to get it. Only thing is that I would advise the team leaders to just highlight, to follow up with that 5 days remaining, 4 days remaining. Sometimes I also do it, but actually our team leaders used to do those things. But our team leaders are also very busy, so I don't put in so much of burden in them also. But each one has have to take his own responsibility. It's your life. You spend time with Jinwani and you will be benefited. That's all. So we were discussing.
I also wanted to say that I've put up the assignment on Moodle. And regarding the grades from last semester, I'm talking to the technical team. I don't know why it's not showing up on everyone's.
I have given everything results, but
Yeah.
still, if you want, I can give you at a personal level also. So you can share with each student personally, not in the group as a whole. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't
I'm
want.
talking to the technical team. They're saying
Yeah.
this.
If they are able to do it, it's okay. Otherwise, I can. I have written the results. I have in writing with me. I can just take a photo out and send to you, and you can individually send marks to each student.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So the thing is that whole course is run by volunteers only. We don't have any paid employee who is looking after this. In every institute that is teaching Jainism across the India, they have a team of staff from principal to vice principal to teachers to admin staff and everything, like you see at Pandit Todarmal Smarak Trust. But we don't have that. Our volunteers are only doing, and all those volunteers are students like you. Some ex-students are also helping, and then there are teachers. So the whole course is being run on a voluntary basis. There is no purpose of earning anything. You are paying a fees of 1500 rupees. Out of that, they are sending you the books through courier. They are also bearing the courier charges. And plus, above and all, they are paying 300 rupees per hour to the teacher. So today's class is of 2 hours, so they will pay 600 to me. And that also they are sending. But some of them are also donating. Some students are also donating. And because of that, the course is being run in that manner. So thing is that, like, we see news in the newspaper that somebody who did IIT from Kharagpur now is donating 1 crore rupees because he now is in a very big post. So he wants something to do for the institute from which he learned these techniques. So that way our students, ex-students also contribute, and that is how this whole course is running like that. So you will not find that professional service here. Okay. So everything is doing, even Urja and Jia Dosi are students also, and they are team leaders also, but they are doing their job also. So they are all busy and they are still helping us. So we cannot demand anything from them. Whatever they do voluntarily, we have to accept. Okay. But I am there. You can put up any questions to me and I will be pleased to answer those. Drashti
Excuse me,
Pradhan,
sir.
Drashti Pradhan and Gyan Pradhan. Then the next one was, we were discussing Swadhyay. Now the 11th point. One topic. Everyone mute yourself. 1 minute, I'm getting disturbances. Yeah, now it's okay. So 11th point is Kriya Parinam Abhipray. This is again a concept. Okay. This is taken from Moksha Marg Prakasak's 7th chapter, and Pandit Abhay Kumarji has written a book on this in Hindi. Kriya Parinam or Abhipray. Okay. In English, it is called action, sentiment, and intention. So intention is very important. Okay. So it is very difficult. Action is something that is seen from outside. Now, if you are going to temple every day in the morning, people will say that fellow is religious. Okay. Because they are seeing your action, that every day morning you go for Abhishek in the mandir. Okay. But sentiment, everyone is not able to understand. I may be studying right now the scriptures, but my mind is running into some scene I have seen in the movie yesterday. Okay. I am doing puja in the mandir, but my mind is running for an assignment that I have been given in the job to complete today. Okay. I have thoughts on that. So nobody can make out what sentiments you are having. Okay. And the intention is something that even you are also not able to understand what is your intention. Very, very subtle. Okay. So the Kriya is gross, then Parinam is slightly subtle than gross, then Kriya, Parinam, and Abhipray, the intention, is something very, very subtle. Even the person themselves cannot make out what is my intention. Okay. So it's a very good topic. Recently, when I went to the Das Lakshan, I discussed this chapter in the very first day. I make them understand this chapter, and the 17 points also I covered. First and second day, 2 days it took me to cover this in short, because mostly people are aware of all this. I think Soumya knows whatever I discussed. You know every topic, Soumya? Because his father is a scholar and he has been given this sanskar from the beginning. So he knows all the topic. But those who don't know, I will explain you in detail. So this is a book, Kriya Parinam Abhipray. This is a book in Hindi. Okay. It's not been translated in English. Unfortunately, there are very little things that has been translated in English. The process is still going on, but I know it will take 5 years to complete, not complete, to get to cover to that translation. And translation also, the qualities are not that good, you know. So I am referring the textbook. At least I am very satisfied with the meaning that has been able. They are right on the meanings. They have understood the scriptures properly. So that's why I'm referring this translation. But another Chat GPT translation has been done on these books. But again, that has to be corrected because Chat GPT is not able to make out every meaning of the Hindi scriptures. Okay. So in some place or other place, the meaning goes wrong. And that is very dangerous. So I'm not referring that version. But once the corrections are done, and you know, this is a never-ending process, the translation. And now today you translate. 2 years later on, if you see the same thing, you will see that there are improvements to be done on this. So it's a never-ending process. So it's very difficult to pinpoint. So I have taken up on myself. I explained it in an elaborate manner, so you understand it. Scriptures have limited exposure to translation, but I make you understand in a very elaborate manner, and that's what I have found it easy and meaningful.
Sir, in this chapter, I was looking at the Hindi version and the English version simultaneously. And reading from the English version, it was very difficult to understand the
Ah,
true meaning. Until and
right.
unless you were
Very
explaining it to us, it was not possible to
Com
faithfully, it was not a faithful reproduction of the Hindi text.
Right. I do
very.
admit, and even
So
if
the
the Chat GPT version
essence of the
you
religion
will
is in the
see, it's
Hindi translation.
pardon.
The essence of the whole the whole scriptures is in the Hindi words only.
Yeah. Because
The
that
essence
that
goes
is
away.
how initially it was in Sanskrit, right? Then it was done in Prakrit. No, initially it was in Prakrit and then Sanskrit, and then Old Hindi. Moksha Marg Prakashak ji was written in Old Hindi. Chedala was written in Old Hindi, and then we have the latest Hindi. Okay, modern Hindi. So this has come to, and now it is being translated into Gujarati and other languages. Tamil also, there are a lot of things going on. But the more you read the revised version, there is impurities here and there everywhere.
Sir, but
Okay?
I think our English does not have those technical terms to express the Hindi words completely. For example, in Chadmast was the Hindi word,
Hmm.
and the person with low intellect was the English translation of Chadmast. So that was not understandable. Similarly,
Ah,
sir, Mati Gyan and Kugyan, these are two different words which came
right.
in the Hindi text, and the English translation was very poor.
Yeah, I admit it is very poor, but there is no other way where
Yeah,
which.
yes, sir. So what I feel is sometimes reading the English translation, why can't we use the Hindi words themselves? For example, writing Kumati Gyan is itself it's a technical word and we can use it as it is. Why
Yeah,
to write bad
so
knowledge?
yeah, we can have that words also, and in the scripture they are mentioned. Now the four exposition, the meanings are not given. It is written Dravya Niyog everywhere here, right? But what we have done is now we have found words for each and every Hindi word, and that also a good word. Now for Dravya Niyog we have found a word exposition on substance. Now how do you feel that word? It more or less matches the Hindi word, right? So we
True.
have tried to get the English words, even like Kriya, Parinam, Abhipray, action, sentiment, intention. Now it's nowhere mentioned, but by referring Google and then arriving at the right meaning, you know, the meaning changes with context. So in what context it is being said, then only you will be able to get the right meaning. In English also there are 100 synonyms for each word. And if you see the meaning, there is a great polarization. One is depicting something else and one is depicting something else. Both are synonyms of the same word. So we have to choose the word which implies the right meaning depending on the context from where it is being said. So it's all very Teddy Keer, I know. But I have
So
taken
the
up and I have taken up this challenge.
vocabulary in English is very limited.
Yeah,
Vocabulary in English, especially related to spiritual aspects or emotions, is very limited.
yeah. But we have this category of student who wants to study in English. Now Somya can easily do in Hindi, but he still wants to do in English because all the time he is doing job in English only. And now we are more comfortable with English words. Now my Hindi has become such that I mix English words in between. So this is something, and one day I was teaching Gujarati and words were not coming out, although it is my mother tongue. But when we see from, when we want to express something from the scriptures, then that dictionary does not come out. So you have, everyone expresses those words only which which are there in their dictionary. So things are difficult, but we are trying our best to make it simple. But you have to put in extra efforts to comprehend the right meaning. Okay. So that is, I leave
So
it.
so there's one co-pilot also, sir. You can try that also, other than
I'm
ChatGPT.
not that tech savvy. I have everything printed in English. I don't refer at all laptop. My only laptop is used for taking these classes. Okay.
Right.
So I don't
Right.
understand the meanings that all. So otherwise, I don't like this exposure of uh, laptop or mobile, or I try to minimize the use of this.
Right.
So that is my limitation.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm sorry for that, but
that's true.
that is my
No, no,
limitation.
that's true. No,
Uh,
you're doing so much now, so I
uh,
just came to know some time back about Copilot.
okay.
Right.
So Copilot, like everyone is busy now. You are not able to complete assignments on time. So how can I suggest you that you do this thing? I
No,
don't
no,
do.
you're doing reference for that purpose.
I will give you references. All I can give you Hindi references, and those English books which are translated, I can give you the references. But I will tell you, Soumya, there are some English writers who are not Hindi speaking. Okay, they are purely foreigners in UK and US, and they have done lot of things in Jainism, and they have found the right words. Now this four exposition, I found it from Christie. Lady Christie in, I think, in UK or USA. She has written a book on Jainism, fundamentals of Jainism, and he has given every words in English. And these are the words we have found out there. So people have done it, but we have to search it for that. So I would prefer that you understand Hindi, and I would prefer to use Hindi words also. That's why I use both the words. So sometimes if you don't understand from English, you can catch up on Hindi words also. But uh, now there are many people who do doctorate from Moscow. Okay. So first they have to understand the local language, and they teach everything in Russian language. And those people get degree from Russia and they practice in India, but they have to learn the Russian language. But we don't insist on learning the Hindi. Even the younger generations now, new kids, they have to keep a Hindi tutor to make them understand in Hindi. They don't know Hindi. Now everything is in English. So this is the trend that is going on, and that's why the Parmagam was the first one to take initiative to get these things in um, English words, all the course in English. It started with Priya Madam. She is in Chennai. She is a professor in University of Madras
Sir, she
since
was my
30.
HOD, sir. Sir,
Yeah,
I did my MA.
yeah.
She's my
So she
HOD.
is there. She's teaching in university since 30 years. So she is good in English. So she started this English course, and then somebody else also did it, and I'm the third teacher to teach in English. So things are improving, but mostly they use Hindi words. And I feel that when we are translating, we should have English words, you know, because today we are all Hindi, but we had one student in from Taiwan. She knows only English only. So if I use Dravyanyug word, she will not understand, right? So ideally, the foreign authors, all they have found out English words for each of Hindi words.
I
Right?
don't know, but Gyan Darshan feels different than knowledge and perception. I don't know there is a difference in feeling of listening to these words.
That is will be probably there because you are coming from that background. But somebody who doesn't know, now I've been teaching English for say 2 years, and now I realize everything I can make out. And on the contrary, English is very straightforward. Whatever instructions are given in English, it's all very straightforward. In Hindi, still I find that they are gumaing the things, they are not coming right to the conclusions. But in English, it's all very clear. So depends. Okay, let me finish this. So I am on to the 12th one now. So Kriya, Parinam, Abhipray, action, sentiment, and intention. So it is very difficult to understand the intention. And that is a different topic altogether. It's not part of our syllabus, but someday I will cover it. Then there is 5 samvai. 5 samvai means 5 inherent causes. Okay. Now this is something that you will learn in Krambat Paryay in English. So 5 samvais is 5 inherent causes. What are these 5 inherent causes? Soumya, 5 samvai?
Yes, sir.
Swabhav,
पुरुषार्थ, स्वभाव, निमित्त, काल लब्धि, भवितव्य
yes,
और होना.
finish. Yeah. Bhavitavya and Honar is same.
Yes, sir.
Bhavitavya, Honar is destiny.
पुरुषार्थ, sir. पुरुषार्थ रह गया एक.
Purusharth is effort. Okay. And Swabhav is nature. And Nimit is instrumental cause. And Kal Labdhi is right time. Okay. So these are 5 inherent causes. For any action to take place, these 5 causes will always be there. But the speech has limitation. It is depicted from one perspective only. Okay. Talks are being done from one perspective only. But the other 4 causes are there that you have to understand. And you have to understand in that manner only. Then you will be able to realize. Otherwise, you will feel that karya to nimit se hi hota hai. Action happens because of instrumental cause, but it is not so. Instrumental is one of the cause, but then there is effort also. There is some element of destiny also. There must be a right time also, and there must be nature also. Okay. So 5 causes are there for any action to take place. You have to understand these 5 causes to get the real meaning. Okay. Otherwise, it will all turn ekant, absolutism. There is no absolutism in Jainism. Okay. Number 13.
Is nature the same as upadan?
Yeah, Swabhav.
Okay.
Right. Trikali Upadan. Shanik Upadan is also there. Okay. So the right time and the destiny will come under Shanik Upadan. Efforts will come under Shanik Upadan. Trikali Upadan is nature. Okay. And instrumental cause is same in both the cases. Okay. And then we have Tat Samay ki Yogyata. Okay. The momentary ability. So these are all, we will study this in Nimit Upadan in detail. Okay. Next chapter, our next topic is Nimit Upadan only after we finish this Tattvagyan part 2. Okay. So there is a chapter of Nimit Upadan in Tattvagyan part 2. And there is an additional Tattvagyan Nimit Upadan book, small book, self-study book. Okay. So both we will covering in class together. The 13th in the sequence is Suksham and Sthul Katan. Suksham is subtle and Sthul is gross. Suksham perspective, subtle perspective, and gross perspective. So some things are being said from the subtle perspective and something are being said from the gross perspective. You have to understand both the perspective. Then only you will be able to realize which perspective things are being said. Okay. The 14th one, some word with different meanings in different places. Okay, like darshan. Darshan means dekhna. Dekhna is to see. Darshan means shraddha, faith. And darshan means samanya avlokan, perception. Okay. So one word, 3 different meaning in different perspective. So some word with different meanings in different places in different perspective that you have to understand. Agar if you understand one meaning and apply everywhere, then you will not be able to understand the correct meaning. Okay. So that was the 14th one. Then 15th is
14th point is what? Repeat the point.
some word with different meanings in different places with different perspective. Okay. Prakran anusar arth. Prakran anusar arth. Meaning according to the context. Okay. 15th is buddhi purvak, abuddhi purvak. Intentional and unintentional statement. Okay. So there is something buddhi purvak that you can do. And there are something that you cannot do. That is all abuddhi purvak. Okay. Now you understand something that is buddhi purvak. The things that you don't understand, that will fall under the category of abuddhi purvak. Okay. So some statements are made buddhi purvak, intentional statements, and some are unintentional statement. You have to understand both the perspective to get the right meaning. 16th is bhavna pradhan and siddhant pradhan. Bhavna Pradhan is reflection based and Siddhant Pradhan is principle based. Okay. So some statements are from reflection based. Okay. So those are taken a bit on emotional side. Okay. But principle based, there you cannot compromise. You have to depict as the principles are. You cannot add your bhavna according to in the principles. Okay. So two different perspectives. One is reflection based, bhavna pradhan. The other is siddhant pradhan, principle based. On principle based, you cannot compromise anything. You have to state the fact as it is. Okay. So this is the 16th one. The 17th one, the last one. सारा उपदेश आपके लिए नहीं है. Okay. There are 1000 medicines in the chemist shop. You take the medicines according to the disease that you have. Okay. So all instructions are not for you. Okay. So when the books are written, yeah, scriptures are written, the instructions are given on a general manner. But you have to customize it according to your ability, according to your mistakes that you make, and according to the impurities that you have. Okay. So each one will have different instructions reading the same thing. Okay. So for some it will be different meaning, for some it will be different meaning. So you have to customize it according to your needs. Okay. Now ask me the question. Someone was asking.
Oh, it was me. I thought it is different for monks and different for us. I thought that way.
No. It's
Yeah,
even
I
in
got
our
it.
class, as I said,
Huh.
even our class, each have different traits, each have
Yeah.
different perspective, each have different abilities, each have different level of efforts. So accordingly, the instructions will be given. Okay.
Right. Right. Thank you.
So these are the 17. I will keep on researching and I will keep on adding. You know, it is not that overnight I got 7 points. Initially, when I sit for this, that these are some of the important things that we have to discuss along with this. Then I found 10, 12 points. Okay. Then I keep on adding whenever I read. I have this idea that this is also very important. And this you also can add up. Soumya, you can also add up. And you can also ask your father to also add up. Okay. So it will be benefit for all, you know.
Sir,
So
we
these
are
are
starting Pathshala. Sir, we are starting Pathshala today in our temple, local
very
temple.
good. So that we must start because the younger generation should also have sanskar of Jain religion and they have got a very good grasping power, you know. And something if you taught them at the very child level, they remember it for the rest of their life and they don't get into the wrong things. So this is very, very important nowadays.
Is this
Pathshala.
online?
Online, it
Yes.
is online, Soumya?
Yes, Himali. It's a 1 hour class every Saturday, 12 to 1. It will be live streamed on Zoom also, and we will have an offline class also, simultaneously both. And the recording will also be available on YouTube.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
so
have
you
seen
Share the link with.
boys.
so you send the link in the group, okay?
Yes.
Yeah, send
Okay.
the link and you can also share it in the team leaders group. Jia, this link you can share in the team leaders group. So all the other batches will also be benefited. And
Yes.
you know,
But the mode of instruction will be Hindi in this class, particular class.
no problem, no problem. So everyone connects. Somebody tell me that I don't understand in Hindi, you say in Gujarati. So I tell them that you see all the serials in Hindi. Say, yeah. So how do you understand those serials? And when it comes to religion, you say, tell me in Gujarati. Why? Hindi is a universal language. Everyone here understands Hindi. Even the NRIs also understand Hindi. Even they talk English all the time. But they do see Hindi movies and serials and everything. And they understand everything. And when it comes to religion, they say that I don't understand Hindi and I don't understand Gujarati and all. So people find excuses to not to indulge in studies, Yeah,
Can I say
Pratibha, you want to?
something for that? No, when you said NRI, I mean, it's not that we don't understand Hindi. We
Uh,
do, but some of the word, like Soumya
yeah,
is
yeah,
saying,
yeah,
or you
yeah, yeah.
saying, those are very hard unless, like, you know,
I
from the
so I
beginning,
don't say
from
no.
the
I
school,
don't
or
say
when you
no.
learn, yeah.
In fact, I want to take this understanding and this our Jainism to a global level. So
Uh-huh.
we do have people who are doing writing books in English in foreigners. There is a
Yeah.
study of Jainism going on in Birmingham University. There is studies going on in 20 universities in USA. They have a Jain chair, and
Yes.
those are all foreign scholars understanding Jainism.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I
sooner or
ordered
later
some
we have
books
to
in
get
English.
everything in English. Only is a matter of
Exactly.
time, and we have started the movement, and it's going in the right direction. And maybe 5 years down the line, you will have more settled instructions in English in all the about Jainism.
Yeah, even I feel bad sometimes, some of the words that I don't know.
Ah,
So that's why I switched to English. I said, so I can at least write down.
So now I can make out English of each and every Hindi word more or less. Okay. Some of them I don't understand in Hindi also, but that also I do research on Google, and that is how I write it in the textbook. So whichever difficult words are there, I've tried to simplify it. But still, if you find across anything that you don't understand, you can refer to me. I will be pleased to give you the right meanings. Okay.
Thank you.
So we are end of our class. It's 10:28 now. So I'm not starting the next chapter. Of course, the next chapter would be the first chapter, Mahavira Stak Stotra. So we'll take up that in next class. So I have given you now homework for today. Is So for concept clarity, paper 3, Tattva part 2. Okay. What will be the topic, The topic will be Nimit Upadan. Okay. But that will be the last thing that we will be covering in this Tattva part 2, because along with that, we will cover that extra book that is self-study book, Nimit Upadan. Okay. So then we have Nimit Upadan Doha also. I have been trying to tell the management that that the syllabus is very vast, and we are not trying to make a justice to the number of hours that we have been allotted. Okay. So you reduce the syllabus. We don't want to teach everything to the students in the 5 years. But if at least they understand the basic ones, the one that is principle based, they will be able to apply it in their life. But still the syllabus is vast. I do admit that, but I don't have choice. My uh, repeated request, I'm not able to reduce the syllabus, but they are making it easy in terms of like assignments. Now, if you are not able to write the assignments, they allow to give you it in oral. Even if you say 5 minutes is enough. So that way they have relaxed it, but the main syllabus they are not reducing, and that is what we have to do. Okay. No problem, but I am very happy that I have been able to share with you my thoughts. Like in this chapter, we have taken 17 points. Now, if you consider these 17 points, each and every point, if you don't understand it properly, there will be difference in the understanding of the meaning of the scriptures. Okay. अभिप्राय, क्रिया परिणाम अभिप्राय, अभिप्राय इतना सूक्ष्म है कि इवन हम खुद नहीं जान सकते अपना अभिप्राय क्या है. And you have to ask question, why I'm doing this? You will get an answer. Then you again ask, why I'm doing this? You will get an answer. Then you ask again, why am you doing this? You keep on asking this question until and unless you come to the conclusion about the 7 fundamentals. This is what Pandit Abhay Kumarji has explained in book Kriya, Parinam and Abhipray, and I like that very much. So when we will cover Moksha Prakasak 7th Adhikar, I will take 2 hours class on this Kriya, Parinam and Abhipray. 2 hours on that 3 lines that Todarmal ji said, that Abhipray ki Vasna pehchanna bahut mushkil hai. That 4 lines, based on that, Abhay Kumar ji wrote a book, and I will cover that whole book very short in 2 hours, the whole book. Okay, that I do every class. So that I do at my end, but I don't know about the other teachers, what they do, and even they realize this or not. But ठीक है, जिसके साथ जो है वो है.
So are we going to get the copy of that book?
Yeah, I'll send the PDF right now.
Okay, great.
I'll send the PDF. Any PDF you ask me, I will get it arranged. Okay, no problem.
Thank you.
Okay.
Rajeshji, the 17 points, a lot of them are covered in Drashtika Vishay. So I'm not sure if we're going to cover that in the syllabus.
Drashtika Vishay. Drashtika Vishay we covered in 8th Nai, Param Shuddha Nischay Nai, Supreme Real Point of View. That is Drashtika Vishay. Okay.
Okay.
So in one of the 17 points, that is one Drashti Pradhan Kathan and Gyan Pradhan. Okay. So Rag ka karta Jeev, right, is a Gyan Pradhan Kathan. And Rag ka karta Pudgal is a Drashti Pradhan Kathan. Now this is the difference. So when the Acharya wants to make a Bhed Gyan between two substances, he will use Drashti Gyan Pradhan Kathan. Okay, the whole Pravachan is written in this style, Gyan Pradhan Shaili. Whole Samay is written in Drashti Pradhan style. So they don't accept attachment as a part of the soul. Right? So the attachment belongs to Pudgal.
Pudgal. Right.
So these are the perspectives. So we have to understand this.
So I just wanted to ask this question: is one granth written in one form or within one?
No. Never it is possible.
So they'll change.
It will, in the same granth, even in Samaisar also, you will find Gyan Pradhan Kathan. But those are very little. Okay. Majority it is Drashti Pradhan, Samaisar, and Pravachan is majority Gyan Pradhan. But in Pravachan Gyan, Gne, Tattva, Pragyapan, Adhikar, okay, it is all fully Drashti Pradhan Kathan. There, many Kathans are like that. So you have to understand. Yeah, you have to understand from which perspective. So I am coming at a very shortcut, by understanding few concepts. Now we have made a syllabus.
It has helped us because it has become a little systematic.
Yeah, so it's going to become systematic. There is a portal that is being launched and there are 80 articles only 80 articles. And that 80 articles, you will take only 3 months to understand those 80 articles. And you will be able to manifest right belief based on that. That much short syllabus we have done. It has already been written by the content writers. I've given the concepts, what is to be taken in the syllabus, and everything is ready. Now they are doing videos on each articles. And I don't know when they are going to launch. In this Das Lakshan, there was supposed to be a soft launch on that. Okay. I said you give at least the articles, contents, leave alone the videos. Okay, video will make a more impact, that I understand. But making one video takes time. They are using AR and VR, augmented reality and virtual reality. And it's very costly. The whole budget is 15-16 crores, and they are spending the money. The trust is ready to spend that money and it's being done. But it will take time. The videos will take time, but at least if they put the contents on the portal, then it will be for all of our benefits. And I am pushing them, but they are not ready to put in because what other organizations, okay, in Jains only, what they do now, they pick up that content and publish it by their name. That's what they do. And that's why they are not ready to release it without doing the proper things, videos and all. And they have limited me also not to share those articles with you, just because कि there is something called intellectual property rights.
Very true.
Mhm.
Correct.
No, I said everything is from Sarvagna. What is our intellectual property rights? I don't understand. But it is still there. And the idea is that, as I said, the other people copy and publish it through their names. So that's why they are a bit uh, not releasing it before they get substantial videos done. So they will simultaneously release the articles also and videos also. So video is something that nobody can make it overnight, right? So they are waiting for that, and I mostly it will be done by next month, I suppose, but I don't know when it will be done. But whatever I have shared something from the contents through you throughout the classes, okay, and that's why things have become easy for me, and it will become easy for you when it is launched. Okay. Okay. We end today. If you have any questions, you can post me personally or in the group. I will be happy to share. Okay. Answers.
Thank you.
निज निधि निज में बताई, यह अनंत उपकार है, उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना 7 बार है। वंदना